The Spice Islands. A couple years ago, I spent some time filming in the famous Spice Islands of Indonesia. Ternate and Tidore were the exact islands that Magellan and other explorers and plunderers were looking for some 500 years ago. In fact, Christopher Columbus mistakenly stumbled onto a new continent, obstructing his mission, which was a journey to China and the Spice Islands. Today, the dark sand beaches of Ternate are a great playground for the Indonesian kids who, as you see, are very camera shy. Very few Western tourists travel out this way, as it's an extremely long journey from the U.S. to the Spice Islands. And in some ways that's a good thing, for the pristine natural environment has not been spoiled, and you can walk along gorgeous tropical beaches. There are only about 23,000 people living on the Spice Island of Ternate, and they are very welcoming to the sweating pink-skinned visitor from North America. And sprinkled in the forests of this tropical island are the prized trees containing the cloves and nutmeg, which in Europe 400 years ago were more valuable than the same weight of gold. There are a couple of monuments on this island celebrating the time when the local people kicked the Portuguese out of the Spice Islands. Let's face it, the Europeans were cruel and racist during their rule here in the 1600s and 1700s. They just wanted to plunder the riches of the islands. Finally, the locals had enough and expelled them. For people interested in history, you can still walk around the ruins of their forts and ramparts. The people of Ternate and Tidore have a close relationship to the sea, and the dockyards are fun to explore. All things grow quickly and easily here in the lush tropics, so the markets have a wide variety of veggies and fruits and fish. One of the key reasons I traveled to the Spice Islands was to meet the Sultan of Ternate and tell some of the story of his family's rule over this area over the past 300 years. Many of the people on the island are very happy with the Sultan and his family, and some even look upon the Sultan as a kind of half-god. People are delighted to receive his blessings at various ceremonies. I had a great time with the current Sultan, a man who received his doctorate in Hawaii. I filmed the once-a-year Legugam Festival, which honors the Sultan's birthday, as well as a great excuse for the islanders to party, to sing, dance, play music, and play act a few of the historical events of history here. There weren't other foreigners around, so I was kind of a novelty sight myself. Situated right on the equator, the volcanic islands of Ternate and Tidore are hot, humid, and lush with vegetation. I took a couple of days away from Ternate to explore the stunning nearby island of Lele, a garden island above water and below. These islands are a part of eastern Indonesia, and this country is the biggest Muslim country in the world. Though the people here are not overly crazy about their religion, and frankly they savor the good things in life like music and dance. In many Muslim countries, men and women would never touch one another in public, but not in Indonesia, which is a pretty lusty place actually. But it's the island's sheer beauty I remember the most. The powder white sandy beaches, the blue sea, the sweet isolation from the rest of the often noisy world, and the fresh and tasty food I had. I remember the light and cool taste of the coconut water. And staying on this little island was no hardship, believe me. I love the big, stilted wooden rooms, high enough to catch some ocean breezes to help cool the humid equatorial air. Gliding over this water, as you can see, there's not much water pollution in the seas around Lele Island. This is almost pristine and a perfect place to snorkel or scuba dive to search for colorful underwater life. Days on tropical islands tend to move very slowly. You put your watch and iPhone in the drawer for a while and start to pay much more attention to the sights and sounds of Mother Nature. Priceless gifts, long remembered. It takes a big effort to fly here from the U.S. Then you take a boat, on, and it's not a place for museums, shopping, or other attractions. And that's why they get so few tourists compared to Singapore or Australia. But if you ever get the chance, it's worthwhile to make the effort to see this very distant part of the world. I put these islands in my Wonders of the World list. Bali is one of 13,000 islands in the country of Indonesia, which sits on the equator, just northwest of Australia. This lush island, with its terraces of rice, its temples, and artistic and spiritual people, draw the attention of travelers around the world. Incredibly beautiful, almost a legendary or mythical place, Bali. I have never met a person who has gone to Bali and did not fall in love with this island. Looking around this island, there are hundreds of Hindu animist temples, some carved into the sides of hills, and surrounded by the sounds of nature and today's rainwater dripping into pools. The ancestors of the Balinese migrated here from the next-door island Java, bringing with them traditions and talents in the India-influenced arts, especially in architecture, wood carving, painting, dance, and music. Every little village on this island of some 5 million people, every village has an orchestra made up of flutes, metal gongs, or gamelan, and singers. Bali has thousands of temples, big and small. The people live side by side with macaque monkeys that hang out in the temples, doing all the usual things monkeys do during the day. In this monkey forest temple by Ubud, there are at least 600 monkeys ready to snatch food out of your hand or the sunglasses off your face.